Business owners, entrepreneurs, listen up. We need to talk about retrogrades because I know that there's a lot of fear, anxiety, worry around retrogrades and how we are supposed to use them and what we should do slash not do in our businesses. So I want to set the record straight. I want to talk about how you can actually harness the retrograde instead of fearing it in your business. And we're going to take the example of, the retrogrades that are coming up now in March 2025, Venus and Mercury. But this could apply to really any retrograde. It's just going to have a slight different twist and theme depending on what planet is retrograding. I am on a mission here. I want us to put the planet back in planning, okay? Like, we really need to make sure that we are paying attention to what goes on so that we're not caught off guard, but also so that we can really harness the energy. And when I say harness the energy, I think of it like this, like if you are having this like super lucky transit, but you're ignoring it and feeling down about yourself and just kind of like, oh wow, I wish I was lucky. And then the planets are like, hey, excuse me, like we're trying to help you out here. It's like you can kind of miss out, right? And you can kind of have this moment where you're just like not really paying attention, not really utilizing it. And so I'm a big fan of harnessing those planetary transits, which just means use them. Work with the energy instead of against it. Embrace it instead of running away from it, right? Like this is what we got to do. So that's why I'm so passionate about bringing astrology and human design to the mainstream, right? This is it. So as smart business owners and smart entrepreneurs, we can do what the kings and queens of old always used to do. We can consult our court astrologer, i.e., ourselves or me, and we can be aware of what is coming. It's so funny because people don't seem to realize that, the billionaires out there, Wall Street, self-made millionaires that you follow on social media, they're all looking at the astrology. People think this is like just for woo hippies who teach yoga classes. Like, I love you as well. This is not a dig, but like, it's not. It's literally for hedge fund managers as well. Everyone. And I know an astrologer who like, this is her bag. She specifically works with hedge fund managers, and financial managers, around the astrology. And so they're just not talking about it because it's not au fait. It's not cool yet, but we're going to make it cool. That's what the Cosmic Queen community is going to do, right? We're going to make this mainstream. We're going to make it like, yeah, like, and what? Like, this is just what we do. This is just like our normal thing. It needs to come out of the shadows. We're ready to do it. Okay, rant over. Let's get into it. So I want to talk about, let's use Mercury retrograde specifically as our first example here. I'm going to talk about the do's and the don'ts in your business. So, what a retrograde is it is this moment when, from the perception, from the perspective of Earth, the planets, other planets like Mercury in this case, look as if they're moving backwards. Is it moving backwards? No, absolutely not. Everything in the solar system is moving forward and and it's orbiting the sun, right? We're all orbiting the sun. But from the perspective of Earth, we move at different speeds, the planets. And so at some point, some planets appear to be moving backward. Now, science has not proven, like what this means and how this has an effect on us, but just start journaling and paying attention every time there's a Mercury retrograde, and you will see it's not confirmation bias. It absolutely has an effect on the workings of the world. And it's fascinating to start to notice that and start to be more in tune with that and start to work with that. I'm sure at some point, probably past my lifetime, science will catch up with mystics and we'll be able to prove what we already know. But at the moment, just use your observation and notice what's going on. So I've heard different people talk about astrology as an observational science. I don't hate that theory. I love that. I think that can work as well. But those cosmic energies are absolutely there. So when it appears that Mercury is moving backwards, it's this moment to slow down in that particular area that the planet in question is the ruler of. Mercury is governing communication, technology, sales, commerce, sharing, self expression. Those are like the main things we do in business, right? Those are the main things we do as entrepreneurs. We are always talking, we are always selling, we are always communicating, we are always using technology, most of us, right? If you're listening to this podcast, you're using technology. And we're selling and we're sharing our work. And so when a Mercury retrograde comes along, it's like, oh, now it's time to slow down. I don't want to slow down. Like I was talking about this in my last podcast where I talked about March Madness, right? Like we feel you know, that everything should always be moving forward in quantum leaps constantly. That is not the natural order of things. If you have a monthly cycle, you know that's not the natural order of things. If you have a hormonal cycle, you know that we are not always meant to be go, 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 hustle, hustle, blood, sweat, and tears. Well, maybe blood, but you know, little joke. So there are moments when we absolutely need to slow down more. And the universe is giving us a big hug and being like, girl, you're doing too much. Like you got to slow down and you've got to double check and you've got to review. And it's all the RE words, right? So if you studied astrology, you probably heard this a lot. Retrogrades are for all the REs: reset, recalibrate, review, renew, reassess, all the REs, because we're going backwards. We're slowing down so that we can pause, check everything, edit, review, and then when we're ready to go, it's like the wheels have been greased. It's like we have finally tuned or oiled the gears, or what. I'm not a mechanic, okay? I'm trying to use the different metaphors. We've greased the gears, okay? And we're ready to go. We've put the gas in the tank. We're ready to go. So sometimes you have to slow down to speed up. And so I want you to reframe that for yourself. So every time there's a Mercury retrograde, I make more money. Every time there's a Mercury retrograde, I am even more magnetic. Every time there's a Mercury retrograde, my words become even more powerful because I'm actually thinking about what I'm going to say. I'm actually editing, I'm actually aligning, I'm actually double checking and reassessing and reviewing so that everything I put out from here on is potent, potent, potent. Okay. That's the reframe that you're going to need. So, so when here's some practical, because you know I'm the queen of practical magic. Okay, here's some practical things that you can do during a Mercury retrograde. You can go through and give yourself a social media audit. Okay, or hire me to give you a social media audit. Yes, there is a link. Yes, I do this and I offer people support so that they can actually get their messaging, their brand in alignment with their astrology and their human design and their business goals, right? But you can do this for yourself too, right? If you got the know-how, like what is your vision? What is your messaging? What is your tone? What is your brand? And is what you're putting out actually aligned with that? There's always room for improvement. This is not a time for you to bash yourself. This is a time for you to get on track. So this is a great time to give yourself a social media audit, maybe do a sales audit as well, and look at your sales funnels. Do you have a sales funnel? Do you have a sales strategy? Is your sales strategy working? How can you tweak and edit and adjust things so that it's going to work better? You're greasing the gears so that you can go faster in your business and in your goals, right? So that's the perfect time. What Mercury retrograde is not good for is it's not good for coming up with something completely new and putting it out there without thought. Impulsively, just like, yeah, I got an idea tonight and I'm going to put it out tomorrow. By the way, I'm not making fun of those people because that is me. Like, that is me. I get ideas the night before, usually at 3 a.m., which is like the golden hour for ideas, evidently, in my world. And then I put it out the next morning. Like, I do that. But during Mercury retrograde, that is not the time. That is not the best time. The best time to do that is when Uranus is doing stuff and the sun is shining on your, and everything. Woo, like, other planets are all moving direct for you, right? When Mercury is going forward, it's full speed ahead, not during a Mercury retrograde. Mercury retrograde is good for going back and readjusting everything that you're doing so that it works better. And you can absolutely make more money than ever before. You can attract more people than ever before. That's not a question. It's just a question of where are you putting your energy? Where are you putting all of that effort? right? Not into new things right now. Or if you are putting your energy and effort into new things, it's for release after the retrograde, after, not during. Okay. Another thing is to don't sign any big contracts if possible. That could be in life or also in your business. If you are signing a contract where you're saying this, I pledge to do this and have this huge amount of effort in the future, and I'm deciding that right now, a Mercury retrograde is not ideal for that time. If you can, wait that 3 weeks out. It's only 3 weeks. Wait that 3 weeks out and then do the contract signing after, or just triple check. Okay, I'm telling you, triple check. I have a dear friend of mine that unfortunately got into some crazy legal trouble during a Mercury retrograde, and she knew. She knew she shouldn't, and it dragged out and it never got resolved. Like this is a thing. And she knew it. And I said, don't get the lawyers involved now. Wait, just wait until after, right? And it went nowhere, right? This is what happens. So, and it makes sense because Mercury is all about communication, all about sales, connection, sharing, all the things. Now, let's talk briefly. Thank you, TikTok. You guys are amazing. Let's talk briefly about Venus retrograde, okay? Just to give another flavor, right? And this is true for all the planets that go retrograde, like when we have a Jupiter retrograde or a Saturn retrograde or any of the more distant planets, like let's say Saturn, Neptune, Pluto, etc. They're retrograde all the time. The retrogrades you really want to pay attention. I mean, you pay attention to all of them, okay? Especially you're in my membership. We talk about all of them. We know how to work with them. We plan ahead. But the big ones that really rock our world the most are the planets that are closest to Earth. So it's really Mars, Venus, and Mercury. Those are the retrogrades that we really need to plan ahead and pay attention to, okay? So Venus retrograde, which we are currently in, it started on March 1st and it goes through to April 12th. So a Venus retrograde is all about money and love because those are the two things that Venus looks after. Also, we could add beauty in there as well. Beauty, money, and love. And so during a Venus retrograde, those are the things we have to review, reset, and slow down on. So from a business point of view, again, with the, not signing massive new contracts where you're committing to big future things during a Venus retrograde, not ideal. If you absolutely have to, you can't get out of it, please triple check, please double down, please line by line it. Okay, have someone else review it for you just to make sure that you're not overlooking something, you're not missing anything, you're not, misaligned with your goals and what you want to receive. Okay. So with a Venus retrograde, the way you really want to utilize it is to look at the beauty, the visuals of your business. How's your website? Do you have a website, right? How is everything going for you, visually? Do you want to upgrade something? Do you want to get a microphone? I just got a microphone. I'm not even using it now, which is ironic, but I have a microphone in the box. Are you using how's your equipment? How's your visuals? Is there something else you want to do? Something you want to kind of review and reset. It's not about trying new things, it's about upgrading, right? Venus loves an upgrade. Venus loves quality. Venus loves beauty, quality, and like really like being comfortable and having the best of the best, right? So how can you tap into that in your business? How can you ensure the quality of what you're putting out? Yes, exactly. How can you make sure that your brand is exactly how you want it to look and feel, but also that what's behind the scenes, the quality and how you feel in your business is right? And now is a beautiful, perfect time to do some money work. Okay. Money mindset, money energetics. Venus retrograde is your girl. Okay. This is the time because this is the time you're realigning to who the heck you are, who you were born to be, and what you were born to receive. So if you're someone who feels like you've got some money blocks, you've got some self-worth stuff going on, right? Who doesn't? If you're someone who feels like, you know what, I'm undercharging. I know I'm undercharging, right? This is the time to review. This is the time to get some support. This is the time to hire the mentor. This is the time to do the meditation. This is the time to start working with your guides, like buy the crystals, whatever you need to do, whatever tool it is for you, right? Now you want to unblock those things so that we can what? move faster. We're greasing the wheels. We're gassing up the engine. We are ready to go so that once the retrogrades are finished, it is clear roads, clear skies ahead, and we're ready to go. So I hope this supports you. I hope this was some useful practical magic for thinking about your business, thinking about what you need to be focusing on right now. It's a lot of behind the scenes work that you need to be doing in the retrogrades. It's a lot of, deep introspection and getting super honest with yourself during the retrogrades. Like this is not a time to gaslight yourself unless you're gaslighting yourself into recognizing what a badass you are and how much you truly deserve to receive. Okay. So I want to see all of my business owners really shining, really taking care of themselves, and really just upgrading, making those little tweaks and those little upgrades during the retrograde so they're ready to go after. So I hope you feel more empowered by this, right? That retrogrades are nothing to fear at all, and you have everything to gain. All of those windows, all of those doors, all of those runways are about to open up to you. So I'm so, so excited. I hope you enjoy this so much. I'm really excited to see kind of what you guys come up with. Please let me know. I'm going to post this podcast. It's available via Substack, Spotify, Apple, etc. Put your comments. I want to know, if this really supported you and if you feel a lot more excited and a lot more just ready to go for it, with your retrograde season. A lot of times people really feel so nervous about retrogrades. They feel like retrogrades are this like scary moment. And I don't want you to feel that at all. I want you to recognize how special this retrograde is and how useful it is for you and everything that you're working on. All right, I will talk to you next time. Make sure that you are subscribed to all the things so that you don't miss a moment of the cosmic business goodness. And I will see you in the next podcast.